Hi, Dimitri.
Hey Josh,
Why do you get your eye covered?
because I'm the unseen.
Oh, you're the unseen.
I'm the unseen. I am that which cannot be seen.
Well, I'm Josh, and this is Insomniac Hour. Welcome, everybody. This is the show for the Insomniacs because there is no sleep for the Fringe. This is
Correct.
where we talk about everything and just about, we talk about a lot of cool things, a lot of interesting things, a lot of things that pertain to the mind, a lot of things that pertain to consciousness, the occult, the esoteric, that which is hidden from sight. And tonight, I picked a topic. I picked what I call hijacking the occult, and we've talked a little bit about this. I think Fred Amicus was on the last time we talked about this, but
Right.
in this sense, I'm not talking about hijacking the occult. I'm talking about unocculting the occult.
Right.
I'm talking about taking back the occult.
Now, when I hear the word occult, I hear evil. I hear
Right.
Satanists. I hear burning crosses and stuff like that.
Well, what does the word occult mean? Well,
I have no idea.
do you have an oculus?
Ah,
Oculus, right, means the eye, pertaining to the eye. The word occult means hidden from the eye, or occulted, hidden from the eye. So hidden from
okay.
perception. And so anything that we look at as occulted is simply things that are seen in your environment or perceived within reality that
Right.
are hidden either literally or with knowledge. So, for instance, let's think of a good one. Well, let's think about this. Is a person can have knowledge, and knowledge in action is wisdom, right?
Hmm.
Does everybody have the same amount of knowledge?
Of course not.
No. So, does knowledge give you power?
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, because you know things that other people don't. So
But
you
what
can
can those things that you know do?
affect your immediate environment and their environment.
Very good. And so, knowledge gives us a better understanding, a standing under of what our reality is, how our reality works, how we are integrated into our reality, and how this whole thing operates. So, therefore, with someone with higher levels of knowledge, they have certain powers over us. And those powers can be really mystical or they can be very literal. Our whole civilization to this date is organized in this literal power structure, in this contractual power structure, right? And we'll talk about this a little bit tonight, but more in the sense we're talking about is occulted knowledge, right? So knowledge
Yeah.
that is hidden from sight that isn't easily obtainable. Now,
Right.
I said this on one of the first Insomniac hours, is this knowledge has been hijacked by what we would know today of as Satanism. Now, there's many precursors to what Satanism is. I mean, the religion of government, the religion of money, the religion of science. These are satanic organizations. They're very core.
What does
Right.
that mean? Satanic. Science is satanic?
Well, first of all, yes, science absolutely is satanic.
Really?
So, think about Fauci.
Okay.
Questioning Fauci is questioning the whole fundamental of science. When science is controlled, no, I don't mean like science in actuality. I mean the institutions that we've formed around science, the institutions
Right.
of
Okay.
government that we've formed,
Gotcha.
Okay.
I thought you mean, yeah, okay.
the
I'm with that.
institutions of money. These things themselves are not evil in any respect. They're no different than a computer sitting in front of you. But can a computer be utilized to produce harm on someone? Absolutely. Can it be utilized to produce goodness in the world? Absolutely. Right. And so if
Yeah.
we derived an institution around these things, we see they become corrupted and their information, their knowledge become occulted. Now let me ask you this: occulted in this sense of money, government, and of money, of government and science,
Uh-huh.
occulted in this sense means what?
Evil.
No, it means lying or hidden information. Does science hide information from us?
Probably.
Academia, absolutely. Does government hide things from you?
Yes.
Do financial institutions hide things from you?
Of course. For their own gain.
So they occult knowledge to utilize your ignorance against you.
I understand.
Okay. Now, secret societies have done this for a while, but in the early 19th century or the early 20th century, this happened on a large form. You remember how everybody says that Freemasons are evil and all this stuff?
Right.
Freemasons were never really evil. They were infiltrated by people who utilized that organization to occult certain knowledge bases and utilize their basically power structures to disinformationize that knowledge, to negate that knowledge, to remove the
dilute
power.
It, right?
Yeah, to dilute and remove that power from the knowledge. And so today, you have a world of symbology around you, speaking to you. Yet most people live in ignorance to it or in nescience. And so this is the way I've always perceived this, is that imagine a world, okay? Imagine a circle, okay? One half of the circle is everything that you know.
Okay.
The other half of the circle is everything you're ignorant to. Okay? And then everything outside of that circle is everything that you're nescient to. Now,
it's the second level. It's two don't knows.
Right. Well, there's two don't knows, but one is you're ignorant of not knowing, and the other you know. But here's the thing: is we've always said that growth, personal, mental, spiritual growth of the being, of the organism, the spirit, comes from an aha moment or an epiphany, right?
Right.
Okay. So an aha moment or epiphany only can happen when you learn something that you did not know that you did not know.
That happened to me today. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. But so think about the circle. What you know, what you're ignorant to, okay, this dualistic relationship, and everything around it is what you're nescient to. And nescient means what you don't know that you don't know. So therefore, growth is that growth of that circle, which means that as you become more knowledgeable about things and that circle grows, your level of ignorance grows as well. The dualistic tendency, is it not?
Because, the more things you acquire, the less you know, because there's so much more even to every single aspect.
Right. Because the more you begin to know, the more you realize you know nothing.
Right.
And so as you expand that circle into nescience and that level of knowledge of what you do know increases, same as being the level of things that you're ignorant to, that you choose not to know, increases. Because if I choose to know some new things that I did not know that I did not know, and that grows, there's going to be things within that realm that I choose not to know, that I become ignorant to. So it's this proportionation of knowledge in information. So occultism, or the occult, is that level of nescient knowledge that exists beyond you and your process of discovery of obtaining it. Or it's that level of occulted knowledge that you're ignorant to because you choose not to go learn it.
I'm just looking at occult on Pinterest, and it's looking pretty grim.
And that is what I told you, is the occult has been hijacked.
Right. I mean, I don't know. It's there's a goat man on here. There's people burning at the
goat man is an entity known as Baphomet.
Okay.
And Baphomet is not Satan. It is not Lucifer. It is not Baal. It is not a satanic symbol, but it has been hijacked by the Church of Satan because most people are ignorant to what it really means. Do me a favor, type in Eliphas Levi, the name Eliphas Levi.
With an E? Eliphas?
Yep, Eliphas. It's ELIPHAS Levi BA Baphomet. I'll do the same thing.
Baphomet. Okay.
Okay. And he's one of the.
Jesus Christ.
And he's one of the.
No,
go ahead.
It says no pins found. It says no pins found for this search, but maybe one of these a try. Estrella Satan, Hail Satan, 666 Satan, Satanist Tattoo, and Baphomet Art.
So Eliphas Levi is one of the first people in the world. Okay.
Oh, there he is. Never mind. I got it.
Is one of the first people in the world to bring that symbolic representation into context. So, Alphonse Louis Constant, 1810 to 1875, is one of the most famous esoteric images worldwide of Baphomet. Very little is known about the context of emergence. It's well established that it has to be seen as a symbolic representation of Levi's magistic magical concept of the astral light. But the historical background of this meaning remains largely obscure. Not really. And I'm reading a scientific article off of ResearchGate. This article demonstrates that the historical contextualization of the Baphomet leads to an understanding of its meaning that's significantly different from the prevalent interpretations. It will firstly be shown that the formation of Levi's historical narrative can only be comprehended in the light of the radical socialist writings of the 1840s, which will then be discussed, which sources... so he goes into kind of what this actually is.
Right.
So the analysis will show that Baphomet should be seen more as a symbolization of Levi's magical theory, as it's the embodiment of the politically connotated tradition of true religion, which would realize a synthesis of religion, science, and politics. But so the actual Baphomet sculpture is representative of duality, of balance, there's also Taurus and Capricorn meeting there, all right?
Yeah, he's got a boobs, and it looks like he's got boobs there.
Right, it's the ultimate hermaphrodite. But this is not Satan. This is not the devil.
Right, there's Azazel, there's Beelzebub, right? There's a bunch of them. How many does he have, you know?
And so I'll go into this report, and this report will actually show that Eliphas Levi was a Satanist and all this stuff, and it's absolutely bullshit. He was a member.
Who is a Satanist? Like, who are the bad guys? Because they're Satanists are bad guys, no? Essentially.
So think about this.
Okay.
What is the word I'm looking for?
Like picture, like I know what I know, but picture me like completely like I want to know who the bad guys are. Point your finger to the bad guys.
Do you believe that there is a flow to the universe?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Do you believe that it's completely deterministic, or that it's completely random?
It's both. You determine it's deterministic in terms of like shorthand game, but longhand game it's random. So like you could, because basically it's like diverting yourself little by little. That's how it's deterministic of the flow. And then like if you divert yourself a little bit here and then you go on this path way down further, it's not going to be the same as it would have been.
Okay.
But it is random in the source of like you just get to go wherever you want in terms of flow.
All right.
It's also guess shit that's imposed on you when you're growing up too.
So I'm not a Satanist, so I can't really talk on what they believe per se. Satanism itself is deception. It's deceit. It's illusion. So the concept of Satan, right, comes from many different historical aspects. Lucifer was molded into it in the mid 400s by the Roman Empire.
Right.
But so, just give you textbook definitions. The Church of Satan was established at the Black House in San Francisco, California, on April 30th, 1966, by Anton LaVey. And really, what it is they have a few certain rules and laws, but it's service to the self. It's service to the instinct. Okay. Now, I think there's various levels of Satanism. One is the spiritual and the mystical level of Satanism, where they utilize lesser deities and lesser beings for their own benefit and their own good. Like I just told you, the benefit and the service of the self. The Sith in the Star Wars would be probably the best example. Is they understand the occult knowledge, yet utilize it in
Just for them.
Utilize natural law in the benefit towards themselves, their group, or their organization. Okay? But their primary focus is around the sense of deceit, around the sense of, and I'm doing multiple things here, so. And Crowley was not a Satanist. If anybody wants to say Crowley was a Satanist, you're reading the wrong things.
I don't even know. I know it's figures like a warlock, right, or a witch.
No, not anything.
Wiccan.
Nope. I mean, you got to understand the times, and this was during the time when a lot of things were happening and a lot of things were being hijacked. Now, Crowley came out and he tempted, right? Very similarly to what Satanism was first represented to. But he was a member of what's known as the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Eliphas Levi was a member of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Have you ever heard of a group called the Rosicrucians, the Order of the Rose Cross? This is another derivation of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. The Hermetic Order, the Rosicrucians, all these guys study and practice the philosophies of Hermes, or Hermeticism. Okay? There's nothing evil or satanic about that. The church primarily labels these sects evil. But a lot of them were hijacked. And you do see this in the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn in the early 20th century. Now, with Baphomet itself, Baphomet is representative of the alchemical wedding. It's representative of the occulted knowledge. It's the symbolic representation of occult science.
Why does he have a goat head? Like, what's like? I understand that it's Capricorn and Taurus.
But what you want to, yeah. So there you go. Goats, Capricorn, Taurus,
the bull.
You got Aries, the ram. Okay.
Yeah.
But the Tropic of Capricorn. What happens every year at the Tropic of Capricorn?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I have no idea.
Well, you're nescient to that knowledge or ignorant to it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly why you look at the bull's head and you see the devil.
Oh, running of the bulls? No.
The Tropic of Capricorn. So what happens is when the sun crosses over the Tropic of Capricorn, it's said that the sun passes over.
Okay. Ah, Passover. Okay.
And there becomes more light in the day than there is darkness.
Ooh.
And that also signifies the beginning of the rains and the return of fertility.
Oh.
And that's occult knowledge. That's how you interpret occult knowledge.
Okay.
And an occultist who's very good in symbology could go through this symbol and tell you 1,000 different things about it. But see, our knowledge on a lot of these things have been hidden, have been hijacked. Yeah, in many different senses. So, no, I don't think Levi was a Levi Jeans. He wasn't a military general. But, okay, so, and I'm going to go through this research gate. Even though I don't agree with what this guy's saying, I want to go through it.
Wait, what are you looking at? Because I'm looking at Wikipedia. I'm looking at Hermes right now.
Well, that's cool. Hermes good.
Oh, isn't that Hermeticism? Isn't that who it is?
Right, and what does hermetically sealed mean?
So hermetically what?
Think about the word hermetically sealed.
I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before.
You never heard about something being hermetically sealed?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. It means that nothing can
get inside.
Penetrate it? Like a heart? Yeah.
Nothing can get inside. What about a hermit?
Hermit crab. Solo.
Hermes.
Okay. God of boundaries, roads and travelers. Thieves, athletes, shepherds, commerce.
Don't listen to Wikipedia.
Why?
Because it's all bullshit.
So what should I look for?
Look for here. Internal guidance.
No, because I need some basis.
Okay, what do you want to know?
What's a good search engine?
What's a good search? What do you want to know?
Well, Hermes. Like, who's Hermes?
Hermes Trismegistus. Hermes Trismegistus was said to be a man who flew with the gods. He was the one who had studied all the esoteric arts in the land of Kem. Now, firstly, a few things to understand. Egypt, as we know it today. Where did the word Egypt come from?
Egg? Egypt? I don't know.
Hold on.
Elliptic? Egypt.
No.
I don't know. The word Egypt?
Well, I got to look for the Egyptian word. Okay, here we go. So, the word Memphis was the capital city, or Memphis was the capital city in Egypt, right?
Right. Wasn't it Cairo? Maybe. Maybe it's Memphis. Never mind. It's not the capital of Egypt. Memphis. Okay, so I know there's Cairo, Egypt. That's the only one I know, right? The Sahara Desert, is that in Egypt? Agrabah, capital.
I'm looking at Memphis.
Cairo is the capital of Egypt.
It used to be Memphis was the capital of Egypt.
Okay.
But you got to remember that the Romans, okay, the Romans went there and they couldn't pronounce the word. They couldn't pronounce the capital city. They didn't call Egypt by its original name. They called it by one of its cities.
Okay.
And that's where the word Egypt actually comes from. It was the former capital city of Egypt, of the land of Kem. So Kem is Kemet, Kemet, is the original name, and it meant El Kemet, L-A-L Kemet. A-L, if you remember, I don't know if you were on our last episode when we did this stuff and talking about it, when we were talking about Neter. Neter is nature, right?
Yeah, I do remember.
So Neter means from spirit. Neter L, Neter-A-L, okay? All means deriving from. Okay?
Okay.
So El Kemet is deriving from the land of the black. The land of the black soil, the land of the black land.
Okay.
Okay. Now, say the word again. El Kemet.
El Kemet.
Hermeticism created what? Alchemy.
Alchemy, yeah.
Alchemy.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Right? And out of alchemy derived chemistry.
Chemistry, okay.
Okay? So, you get a step forward, dude. I can't hear you.
I'm just thinking about the Netherlands. Is that
your volume just went all fucking weird.
Why? I didn't do anything.
I don't know.
We keep going. So
okay. So, no, herpes isn't related to it. But, okay, so what we do now is Hermes derived from the land of Kemet, okay?
Right.
And so he was a man who studied the mysteries. He was a priest ordained within the mysteries. Now, there's a lot of derivation of who Hermes Trismegistus, Hermes Thrice Great could have been, and, for instance, Moses.
You hear me?
Yep, that's a lot better. Moses, right, was a prince who was put down the river as his kingdom was under siege as a baby. He was picked up by the pharaohs, and he was raised as a priest in the High Egyptian Accords. And a lot of people attribute that story to actually the story of Hermes.
Yeah.
There's... Who is it? I'm not St. Francis. Is it St. Francis, I think? Sir Francis Bacon. That's a good one. Sir Francis Bacon is said to be the man who lives to eternity. He's said to have been also Hermes.
And Shakespeare.
A reincarnation of Hermes. But Hermes, as the metaphysical story goes, is the one who came before the Sadic Isis, the divine goddess, the epitome, the embodiment of the divine feminine, who wore the veil of the secret and sacred mysteries of the universe. and had lifted the veil, for no man hath come before her and lifted the veil.
Mm-hmm.
And when he lifted the veil, he learned the secrets of the universe, and he taught it to 4 disciples and sent them to the 4 corners of the earth, for after the deluge, after the flood, restarted humanity. And it was given to Hermes that he was the savior of humanity for bringing the knowledge, the bringer of the knowledge, the bearer of the torch of knowledge. Now go into Greek mythology. Who's the bearer of the torch of knowledge, or the bearer of the flame? The Olympics every year. What do? We carry
like
what?
the torch. So I thought it
Torch.
was my Mount Olympus.
Right.
Apollo.
No, that's Prometheus. So how about this? What is the female derivation of Prometheus?
I have no idea.
Statue of Liberty, Libertas.
Okay, I'm with it.
Torch of knowledge. Okay?
She was French.
So a lot of... She was French.
She was French.
She's from the land of Gaul. So a lot of what we see here is this pertainment to who Hermes was. But in historical context, I mean, I bet you could even trace Hermes back to Enki. Now, someone says, anyone mentioned Thoth? Well, see, what happened is later on in the land of Kem, when Kem became known as the land of Egypt, the stories of Hermes, the man, became deified as the stories of the god Thoth. Now, Thoth is represented as an ibis. It's a certain type of bird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, Thoth himself, or Hermes, proclaimed, I am not a god, for I am a man that has only reached to the heights of the gods and learned the knowledge of the gods.
Thoth and Hermes is the same guy?
Thoth and Hermes are the same guy.
What? So what do these people know? What are these secrets that, like, where are they? Who knows them now? Like these secrets of the universe. What are these secrets? Can I know a secret? Can you throw a secret my way?
It's what we've been doing every single episode, I thought.
No, but I mean, like the comment, like I'm not me. Yes, I understand that, but
How
I mean,
about
like,
this? There's so many depths to the secret. Is where do you want to begin?
I feel like people would just get, like, people that don't, like, want to understand this but can't, so to speak. Okay. They'd want to know, like I know you can't say in layman's terms, or like there's secrets of the universe for dummies, you know what I mean? But like something like simple, like even a simple example of what one of these marvels are. You know what I mean? I guess remote viewing is one. Like, I guess it's all that true. It's true. Everything that you can't experience with your senses.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's behind them.
Okay.
My aha moment today was crazy. You want to hear about it?
Yeah, let's hear your aha moment for today.
I figured out, like, how to describe consciousness, or like human beings. So human beings, we're all one, right? So we're all connected to one giant, like I call it a head of an octopus, or they always say that it's a tree of life, right? But like when you say the tree of life, to me, I picture a tree. But what I think that they mean is the roots. So a tree has like one, a couple big roots, then the roots into smaller roots, smaller, and then they get to these tiny little capillaries that they're constantly growing, like a little bit at a time. Like, okay, you're a capillary, I'm a capillary. I am just an extension of this tree that's deep down in the earth, that's branched off so many times, it's just trying to grow. And that is the universe doing it through human beings.
Interesting.
And then the human beings, like as a person, you're broken. So that basically a human being is a filter for consciousness through, to experience Earth. And then as a human being, your filters are like the senses, smell, the 5 senses are your filters. And then within that filter, there's sour, salty, whatever. And
so
basically
what would you consider the filters of the body?
What do you mean? The senses. Like, what do you mean the filters of the body?
What are your filters of your body?
Yeah, the senses.
The senses?
Yeah. Water? What do you mean by filters? Like, I mean by filters of perception.
So you're saying that reality is perception?
Right. Yes.
Okay. So remove perception. What's left?
Consciousness.
then reality isn't perception.
What do you mean? Why not?
Because if you remove perception, is there something still left?
Yeah, of course there is.
Then what's reality?
Perception. Reality is okay. So consciousness is what is what the life behind the root is, but the root is only experiencing, which is a human being, like the capillary, is only experiencing what they could sense, smell, taste, whatever. That is our filters to what's outside of us, and the human being, in its entirety, is a filter for consciousness to Earth. You know what I mean? I guess I gotta phrase that. I just came up with it.
You gotta phrase that a little bit different, I would assume. What I'm trying to say here is that you're trying to say that consciousness, okay, is, let's assume, a plant. It starts from a seed. It roots into the ground. It pulls its nutrients, its water, through the ground. It breaks through, and now it exists within a very dense state below and a very non-dense state above. In the non-dense state above, it begins to blossom. The plant grows stems, and it grows leaves, and it grows flowers, and it's taken in the environment around it. Okay? Now, the environment around it is perception. Is perception the plant?
No, perception is the plant to consciousness, to life. So do you understand?
So show me life in the plant.
You can't. It's not physical.
Right.
The life in the plant is the space between the seed and then the tree. That if you say time is like not linear, but time is like all at once or whatever. So the space between the seed and the tree is life.
There's a teaching by Hermes. It was said that when they found the tomb of Thoth, there would be great knowledge, and someone proclaimed that this knowledge came from something known as the Emerald Tablets. Now, the Emerald Tablets have been translated through channelers, and I just don't, I can't go with that.
Me neither.
But it was said that when they found the Emerald Tablet on Thoth's tomb, which has now since been long gone, is that it said one thing: as above, so below. Now, I want you to go back to the plant, because you wanted to learn some esoteric knowledge. You wanted to learn something occult, and I'm going to teach it to you, but I want you to see this, okay? The reason I'm asking these arbitrary questions pertaining to what you're saying, not that you're wrong, because I'm trying to get you to see something else. Okay, so below the ground, you have the roots of the plant, which produce the livelihood of the plant. And it's in a very dense area. Above the ground, you have the air, the ether, of which the plant's green and luscious part lives and thrives in. It's what takes in all of its sensory world. Okay?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's where it lives and dies. Now, what's the difference between those two areas?
The density of the atmosphere they're in. The atmosphere,
That's right.
I guess.
But do both of those areas, the dense and the non-dense, attribute to the livelihood, the life, the consciousness of that plant? Of
course.
Okay.
Yes.
So now take that plant and know what you know about plants, and know what you know about physics and science and quantum physics and understanding the molecular structure.
Okay.
Okay. Is there a solidified aspect of that plant?
What do you mean by solidified?
Is there cells that formulate that plant?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Okay. So those cells would be the dense. That would be the roots underground, right? So where's the plant in the ether?
Everywhere.
The space in between. Just like on a piano, if all you had were white keys, music wouldn't make much sense. Just like in space, if there wasn't any space in between, if there wasn't darkness between light, we would never know the contrast of light.
Right. Okay.
Okay? It's the spaces in between that we tend to forget about, that we tend not to realize. And so with that plant, it is the spaces of which we cannot perceive that exist between it of which this ethereal realm of the plant, the spirit of the plant, exists. So I say, where is the consciousness?
I would say that it's inside, or like it's behind everything. It's the reason that it lives.
Or is the plant simply a resonant structure that's created when the field wishes for a plant to come into existence?
That's just true.
Yeah. So, or is the plant just the resonant form that takes shape when the field wishes to take form?
What it was, okay, now let me stop you right there. The field, meaning there's two fields then. There's the field that's taking form, and then the field that's letting it take form. So whatever collapses, like there's the field that is light and the other field that collapses, right?
You mean there's a harmonic field and a disharmonic field?
Yes.
You mean a duality?
Right. Don't bring up the goat man.
No. But that's what he was trying to show.
You get it.
He was trying to show duality. He was trying to show the ultimate principle of nature. The one principle that derives all knowledge is that duality, okay, produces emergence. That when duality meets, it births emergence. The Holy Trinity. The Spirit of God merges with the Divine Virgin and produces the Immaculate Conception of a Savior. The emergence of something new.
Immaculate Conception, my ass. Come on.
Well, but what we're doing here is we're talking about knowledge. We're talking about information. Now, I asked you something before we went on, and I said, do you believe that the universe is completely random, or do you believe that the universe is completely deterministic?
Right. I said both.
And you said both. And you're right, because guess what? That's duality. But tell me, what is the deterministic aspect of nature?
Cycles.
What produces cycles?
Time. Temperature.
What produces time and temperature?
Perception. I guess. What produces time and temperature? The earth, the climate, the seasons.
Think bigger, dude. Come on. Expansive.
The universe.
Okay. What in the universe produces time, temperature, and all those things above?
Planets, galaxies.
What keeps the galaxies and the planets in orbit? And
The sun.
what makes the sun produce the sun and produce heat and have all those interactions occur within it that keep all those planets in orbit, that orbit around the galaxy, that keeps the galaxy all bound together?
No idea. Gravity.
Laws?
Uh,
So
I
the
guess.
so natural law? Remember we did a whole, oh, you weren't here for the two of them, but remember we did a whole thing on natural law. So natural law is the deterministic aspect of reality. These are the things that are immutable. You cannot change them. They're permanent in the universe. You cannot change natural law, which means that
I don't know.
What do you mean?
Because
I'm
then,
telling you, you can't.
how do you know that?
Well,
How do
let me
you-
ask you this: go jump off a cliff and tell me if you fall.
I don't need to. I'm gonna fall.
Okay, tell me if you did it a billion times. If you threw the same rock over that cliff,
Okay.
does that rock fall a billion times?
Yes.
Okay. Does that rock fall at the same rate a billion times?
Yes.
Okay.
For the most part.
So
yes.
let's try that again. As we perceive it today in our conscious perspective.
That's what it is. You see, as we perceive it today.
Okay.
So,
and
you
as
know
they
what I mean?
perceived it 100 years ago, and as they perceived it 500 years ago, these laws are immutable. As they perceived it 3,000 years ago when this was all written, these laws were
Yes.
immutable.
There you go.
Okay.
Until somebody throws a rock and it fucking goes up.
So let me ask you this. What is the random aspect of reality? Of nature?
Nothing. Then in that case, because everything is able to be calculated.
Really?
We just can't do it.
Interesting. Then, then how does cause and effect occur?
What do you mean?
Does that mean that all causation produces a deterministic effect?
I think random. Okay, I got an answer for what's random in the universe. Is thought.
Woo, thought. And thoughts derive from where?
Consciousness.
What allows you to think? What is the mechanism?
My brain.
Yeah, but what is the mechanism?
Awareness
surrounding it. The Christians talk about this all the time. God gave them
free will.
There it is.
Yeah, so free thought, right?
Your ability to choose is the random component of the universe. So if you have a random component of the universe, like free will, that integrates into a deterministic perspective of the universe, and the deterministic component of the universe, which is natural law, then you have a whole realm of reality that derives from it. So let me ask you this. And we'll go back to another cool definition of all of this. What do you call the process, the discipline, okay, of utilizing free will plus natural law?
Living?
It's reality, but we can also call it magic, can't we?
Yes.
Because if I discipline my free will to a ritual that I know works, if I say this one, this part, and this part all produce this effect, okay, and I give you this plan, saying, hey, look, Dimitri, if you go to the gym 5 days a week and you work out for 1 hour and you sweat every day, you're going to lose weight. Cause, effect. Discipline is ritual. That's magic.
Not many people have discipline.
It doesn't matter, but that's magic.
Right. That's what probably not many people are magicians, eh?
So, well, that's right. And so that's a very simplistic perspective of it. Well, guess what? Once you learn occult knowledge, that whole realm of understanding right there starts to make a lot more sense. Once you realize that reality itself can change based upon the will, the disciplined will of the magician, because you got to remember, the laws are immutable. They don't change. Okay? So think about this. Mathematics. If I shoot something at a certain angle, can I calculate the trajectory of where it's going to land?
Yes.
Every single time. If I throw a rock off the same cliff, the same height, can I calculate how long that's going to take that rock to fall?
Yes.
That's the world of magic. Except you have to extrapolate your mind, expand your mind beyond the understanding of physical law and start thinking in the sense of dualistic nature of things, spiritual nature of things, the physical nature of things, and cause and effect, and the laws of mind and understanding the laws of the mind pertaining to the dualistic aspect of nature, of natural laws, and the derivations of the different principles of how natural law comes about. Like the law of compensation. The law of compensation is nothing more than law of karma.
Yeah, I get that.
So what is karma?
Balance. From what you put out is what you get back.
What comes around goes around, right?
Yep.
Does it really exist?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, as far as I know.
Show me.
Right now?
Show me.
I love you. I love you.
But really? That's what I'm trying to say. Is show me that it exists.
I love you.
What?
I love you.
I love you too, but that's what I'm trying to tell
you.
There it is.
There it is. It exists.
We're talking about it in a little bit more different terms. But see, the law of karma pertains to certain aspects of time, right? The linearity.
Because you're supposed to carry your karma with you through reincarnations, even. So you could be paying. You could be paying back for karma that you did in a past life. Is that true?
True, but here's the thing: isn't the eightfold path that Buddha laid out, isn't that meant to alleviate all the karma in one lifetime so you can ascend to the next level, to that point of enlightenment? So you can enter the next incarnation to where you would not have to be incarnated anymore because the karmic energy, the balance, has been restored. Right. Do you know why they mummified pharaohs and high important people who paid enough money to get mummified in ancient Egypt?
To keep them, I remember this. To keep them around longer so they couldn't ascend or something? Or they could do it quicker?
So, if your body decays naturally through natural process, you can't ascend. So the point was to make sure that the body didn't decay, so the spirit
had time to do it.
Yeah, could go up and go to Apophis or I think that was
21 days, right? Yeah. 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, the Egyptian.
Yeah, Russians have that too.
Right.
They don't bury the body until 21 days after.
Yeah, but they never buried the pharaoh's body.
Right. No, I know. I'm saying Russians, like my religion, the religion that I was raised on, doesn't bury their bodies for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
So let's think about this here and wrap it kind of up a little bit. Is the universe, right, as we know it, has a set of deterministic laws. Science sets out to study the physical nature and derive those laws.
Right.
But we're looking at it in a different context. We're looking at it in the sense of more expansive, to mind, the mental world, to the spiritual world, the unseen astral levels, and the physical world, because we understand that there's a space in between. Because everything is an emergent effect of a dualistic relationship. Even you right here, right now, are the emergent effect of a dualistic relationship. And even so, you are in relationship with another duality that produces the same thing. As above, so below.
Huh.
Okay. So, if we wanted to hijack the occult back, this means we have to de-occult things. We have to unhide them from the eye. We have to teach people knowledge. Right? Now,
so basically, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What's your thought?
I was saying basically we would have to show and explain to people rituals. And first of all, we have to explain to people that they have to have discipline. Because that's I think where most people would fall off the cliff right there, because there's no discipline. Like if I tell somebody to do 10 push-ups every noon, or they get to pick the hour, they still wouldn't do it for 10 days.
How do you know?
I mean, because I've tried it before. I mean, not everyone, but if I told them that it was...
Isn't that the
definition of insanity?
Well, no, isn't that belief, though? Isn't that your reaffirming belief that they're not going to do it one of the reasons why they don't do it?
True. Maybe.
Maybe you should start believing in people.
Okay. That's a good point. Yeah,
there really is a collective consciousness.
Seriously.
And you know what? If you start off a conversation by talking to that person, say, hey, look, I've talked to a lot of people. I've had a lot of people do this, and none of them actually do it. But I want you every day at noon to do 10 push-ups. Guess what that person's going to do? Not do it. There is a story of a woman I heard who lost a bunch of weight. And she went to the doctor, and she said afterwards, the reason for her weight loss is because of what the prescription that her doctor gave her. And she carried the prescription around in her purse, but she never consumed anything out of that prescription. Instead, the doctor gave her a note, prescription paper and a note. The first thing it said is, do not tell anybody that you're doing this. Follow these directions precisely. Do not tell anybody that you're doing this. Then the doctor said, never eat more than a handful of food a day. Drink plenty of water. And take a walk at night. That's all she did.
No shit. That's what he wrote in the prescription bottle.
Handful of food, a meal, 3 meals a day. Handful of food. Drink water. I think he said drink 8 glasses of water a day and take a walk every night after dinner. And don't tell anybody you're doing it.
I feel like that's an important part about it. Don't tell anybody.
Well, let me ask you this. Is the moment I tell you I want to do 10 push-ups at noon every day, what do you start thinking?
He can't do that. There's no way.
Hence why you don't tell anybody. You remember how you used to wish upon a star at night?
Yeah.
Remember what they told you when you made a birthday wish or you wished upon a star?
Don't tell anybody what your wish is. Yeah.
Why do you not tell anybody what your wish is?
Shit, so nobody can fuck you up.
Because nobody can fuck you up.
Because people are going to try to fuck, well, without even trying to. They're just their judgments and expectations of you. They don't realize how powerful they are. They're just like, there's no way he's going to do that. Maybe he will. Who knows? But
So- so-
you're already.
Jesus actually laid this process out
How?
on the Temple of the Mount. He said, ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find it. Knock and it shall be answered unto you. Now, does any of that say tell somebody next to you?
No.
Who do you ask?
God.
So where's God?
Up there.
Oh, is it?
Well, actually, no, it's inside.
Stop taking yourself out of the equation.
It's inside, yeah.
Well,
God
your
is
connection
within.
to God, your subconscious, right?
Yeah.
Your connection. If God is everything, then God is a part of you. So why do I have to look outside to communicate with God when I'm a part of its creation? I'm not God, but I'm part of God's creation, and I exist in God's creation. So I shouldn't have to look any further from in myself. So when I ask within myself. And then I go to seek. When I seek, how come it doesn't say search?
What's the difference? Oh, search is like physical and seek is mental,
Maybe.
I
But
guess.
seek, see, derives from within. So when you
Right.
seek, you're seeking within. Okay. So let's say I want a new car. I ask me, hey, God, on the internal side, I need a new car. I'd really like a new car. Can you help me get a new car? You know? So I'm asking internally.
Yeah, you're really good at that. Holy shit. I was
What are you talking about?
ventriloquist.
What are you talking about?
You just don't let this all when you're telling.
I
Could be like
did
a
what? I have
yeah.
no idea what you're talking about, man.
Jeff Dunham. That's it.
Okay, so you ask internal to yourself, and then you seek. What does seek mean? If I search for something external, what am I doing?
You're looking around.
You're
For
looking
something.
around for something. So if I seek
Outside.
within myself, where am I looking?
Inside.
But what am I looking in? What
My mind.
what function of my mind am I looking around in for it?
Not your subconscious.
No.
Your foreground. Your memories,
No.
I guess. I don't know. I give up.
Close your eyes and okay, so let's just say you want a new car. Close your eyes. What do you see?
Nothing. Like
Okay.
blackness.
Think about a new car.
Okay. I got it. A black 911 Carrera.
Okay, great. Now, what function of your mind are you using when you seek for it?
Mm,
Imagination.
yeah. My mind. Yeah. Okay.
You're using your imagination. You're creating the reality internal. Right? So you're
Right.
creating the reality, attaching the emotion. You're creating the intentional aspect of itself internal to yourself. And so next, we say what? You knock, and it shall be answered unto you. What does
Okay.
knock mean?
Knock. I don't know. To hit something.
So one part spiritual, one part mental, one part physical.
Physical.
That's right. You touch it. So what do?
Touch the 911 Carrera.
You produce action.
Okay.
So I always look at it in the sense is that you knock on doors of opportunity, right?
Okay.
And doors of opportunity open for you. Now, do you remember when we talked about doors of opportunity? Did you go through one
No.
door and you get kicked in the balls, you get
Right,
punched in the
right, I
nose,
remember
and there's
that.
a little small, you got a path to walk, but it's a very small reward. And you're like, fuck this, I'm going to go to the next one.
Yeah.
But that dude that actually goes through, he endures all those obstacles. He gains a little bit of trust with the universe. The
Right.
next day he wakes up, there's 2 doors. And this is karmic accumulation. Good karmic accumulation. Because you get to the point where you've gained so much trust with the universe that anything you do produces an immediate effect. So knock means go out into the universe and produce action that is karmically good, that is directed towards that which you seek, and that which you desire, and that what you ask for.
Cool.
But see, that's the thing, is free will now doesn't become free anymore. It becomes disciplined will.
But you're free to do that.
There you go. So you could be disciplined will. And now let me ask you this. Discipline is freedom.
Yeah.
So if you don't
It's
have...
not freedom, but it's a symbolic freedom. It's a symbol.
No. Discipline is freedom.
How is that?
Okay, let me ask you this.
Freedom,
If you just had open will, free will, with no discipline, okay?
Right.
What's going to happen to you?
Probably kill somebody or get killed.
You're going to be instinctual, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Then, therefore, do you really have free will, or are you dominated by natural law? Is natural law that which dictates your actions? If you are just have free random will, right? There's no discipline within your actions. Free random will. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. You're going to run off a bridge. You're going to run off a cliff. You're going to run into the road, right?
Right.
So, therefore, your freedom, complete freedom, is not necessarily good. You have to have free will aligned with disciplined will. Now, here's the thing, is if you are nescient to this, or if you are ignorant to this, and you don't realize that you have discipline over your own mind, over your own willpower, then somebody else does. And if somebody else has control over your mind, what's that definition?
Slavery?
Slavery. And what's the opposite of slavery?
Freedom.
Freedom. So discipline of your own mind is freedom. Because it's through the disciplined will, the disciplined actions that are produced from your disciplined will, okay, that produce causation that give effect. And that effect is what benefits you, produces money in your life, which allows you to buy an island where you can find happiness. Because of your discipline. Look at every successful person in the world. Did they have a level of disciplined will to get where they're at today? Besides the ones who inherited it.
And they had to have, yeah.
They had to.
Discipline
is freedom. And if you don't discipline your own mind, somebody else will. And so this is what we're doing here, guys. We're de-occulting. We're revealing to you these sacred understandings, this sacred knowledge, esoteric knowledge of who you are and what you are, that many people just don't know, that many people are nescient or ignorant to. And if you are ignorant to it, you are a slave to it.
Yep. So,
awesome.
Get that freedom.
That's right. Now, we will be back tomorrow night. I don't know if Dimitri's going to be with us, but I do know Matt Aponte will be with us as a guest host. And Dimitri, if you are going to join us tomorrow night, you just let me know.
Okay, I will.
All right, very cool. But everybody, this is Insomniac Hour. If you are not subscribed to the YouTube page, please subscribe. If you're not subscribed to any of the channels that you're watching on, whether it's Twitch, DLive, Pilled, Redpills.tv, which is our primary channel, please definitely subscribe to it. Hit those likes, buttons, and all that kind of stuff. And we'll see you tomorrow night on another episode of Insomniac Hour. Take care, guys.
Good night.